Welcome back for those who have been viewing some of these videos, and welcome if this is your first time. My name's Tom, and I'm just a guy who loves the Lord, and God's been kind enough to open up some things to me which I think are really helpful. They've really helped me. And continuing with a series on spiritual warfare out of the book of Ephesians, and this is one that's going to be an important post because I'm going to talk about the nature of the battle the devil wages on humanity, on you, and also what victory looks like. And I would say that the devil does not have one tactic for Christians and another one for his own. He hates everyone equally and has the same playbook. But I'll be addressing Christians specifically in this post because only those who are in Christ can stand up against the onslaught of the devil, whether it's subtle or overwhelming. But let me start by telling you what victory looks like. And it's not when the heavens part. It's not when the sun shines and the birds start to sing. We experience that in measure here, oftentimes not often. But Paul tells you right up front what victory looks like when he says 4 times, stand. When you stand in the awareness of who you are, which is being as right as Jesus is, as loved as he is, as effective as he is, even when you're feeling like crap. When you can stand in the promises God gave, especially when they seem impossible. When you keep your testimony that Jesus lives and is Lord, even though you feel as dead as a doornail and all hell is broken loose, this is what victory looks like. Paul said, having done all, to stand. So if you understand this, you'll also understand the nature of the battle. Because the devil wants you to give up on the Lord, his promises, on yourself and your destiny. In warfare, in spiritual warfare, whoever blinks first loses, at least for that time. So what does the devil want you to give up? When you know this, you'll understand the reason the Lord has given you specific armament. And I want to note here that this is his armor, the very same armament Jesus used as he walked among us. His armor has been working forever. It's been tried and tested in the fiercest of battles, and it works. So the first thing you need to put on is the belt of truth. And I'll talk about practicalities down the road, but for now, I want to paint with broad brushstrokes and give you an overview. Truth strengthens your core. It gives you backbone and stability. Also, most of the other armament is attached to this belt. And this points to the devil's basic tactic, and that is to lie. It worked with Adam and Eve, and sadly, too often, it works on you and I as well. If you do not know the truth, the devil doesn't have to do much. But which truth as it relates to spiritual warfare? Paul gives you a clue when he lists the other armament, because specific pieces that God's given is designed to protect you against specific points of attack. So, for example, if your enemy has landmines, you'll want to have an undercarriage protective device, right? If your enemy has heat-seeking missiles, you want to have decoy flares. God has designed your armament to protect the areas in your life that are most precious to him and to you, and the most dangerous to the enemy. I want to combine the first two here because they go together and represent your 2 biggest questions that you face. Who am I and what am I about? The who and the why of life. Am I loved? Am I significant? Well, the breastplate of righteousness answers the who. You are the beloved. If God is love, you, just by reason of your existence, must be the loved. But more than that, Jesus gave his life for you. With God is not just lip service. He proved his love for you on the cross. So by creation and redemption, you are infinitely valuable and treasured. And you've been given a unique voice that God has given you to express. Nobody else can express you. Nobody can express God like you can through your experiences and your life. So while the breastplate, though, protects the who of you, the gospel of peace clads your feet, and protects what you're about, your why. I say in my book, while you can assure your heart about who you are, you cannot assure yourself into your destiny. You have to take steps outside of your comfort zone, and that's fraught with danger. You need to know that God has planned each step, is going with you, is carrying you, and is waiting with open arms. So the good news of peace is first for you. You need to know that God has got it. He's got your life. He's got your future, and you can take steps of faith as you talk with people about the Lord, as you go about your day, as you pray for the sick, as you enter into your specific ministry. We tend to doubt ourselves and live in fear. Peace, the good news of peace for you, answers that. And then the shield of faith protects you against taking offense. Taking offense is one of the devil's most delicious attacks. These fiery darts will keep smoldering once they take root. I'm sure you've experienced that. And if you're starting to keep your breastplate on and your feet shod, then he'll try to get you to take offense. And we'll talk later about the shield, which protects you against taking offense, but know that this is a demonic assault, and you need to recognize that. It happens with husbands and wives, parents and children, close friends, strangers. It's the devil's way to divide and to get you into an eddy, one of these little swirling things. And if that is an issue right now for you, tell the Lord that you've been zinged. It's not your fault. You know, it's funny, the devil attacks you, then gets you to think that it's your fault. Yes, you need to man or woman up, humble yourself, forgive, seek to make amends, but it's the demon's doing. And you might need to talk to your pastor or friend just to get it worked out, but do it. That dart can be pulled out. And then there's the helmet of salvation. You know, salvation has its own language and logic. It's an upside down sort of logic. You know, in the culture of the kingdom, down is up is down, becoming small makes great, losing is getting, dying is living. This is the message that Jesus came and personified, and it's yours as well. Then after these, you're ready to take up the sword of the Spirit and to inflict some damage on the devil's kingdom. The sword of the Spirit is the rhema of God, and that will also be an interesting post. You know, yes, there are enemies who hold territory out there for you to defeat. They're holding people's lives in their hands, but you need to first protect your heart, because out of it flows the issues of life. And if you don't protect your heart well, you won't have the wherewithal to use the sword. And lastly, we'll talk about praying in the Spirit, praying for all the saints. And this is, I think, of utmost importance because it is placed last. Well, that's an overview of what we're going to discuss over the next posts. And if you're game, I am. And until next time.